What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NFL DFS top fives on DraftKings for week 14. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Let me know in the comments section who your favorite plays are for this week. And finally, shout out to Jock Market for being the presenting sponsor of this video. Use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up. Get up to $50 on your first deposit. Now you guys can see the defenses on the screen right now. We're not talking there. Who will be my top 5 tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks? It's time to find out. First up at the tight end position, number 5, Travis Kelce, 7,400, projected for 16 fantasy points. Kansas City, 10-point favorites against the Raiders, 48-point total. It's the number 10 offense at PFF against the number 15 defense. Kelce, not as big of a ceiling as you really want at this number. 1.7% chance to go for more than 30, but a 7% likelihood to be in the optimal lineup. No one ever regrets having Travis Kelce, but he is pretty expensive, or expensive enough where when push comes to shove, tight end on this particular week, if you just look at those optimal odds, really difficult, really flat. Seems like a week where you kind of want to just take a shotgun blast. At number 4, we're going to save some money. Jared Cook, 3,200, projected for 8.5 fantasy points. The Chargers taking on the Giants. They are also 10-point favorites here, 43-point total. The number 18 offense, which you just expect to be higher, against the number 27 defense at PFF. Now that's a good matchup. Jared Cook is not going for north of 30. You're rostering him to save some salary and to hopefully buy a cheap touchdown. 9% likelihood to be in the optimal, just shy of this next spot where we have a tie for number 2. In at number 3, we're going to Darren Waller, 6,400, projected for about 15 fantasy points. Raiders taking on the Chiefs, so we got the opposite side of this one now. 10-point dogs, 48-point total. The number 15 ranked offense against the number 10 ranked defense, so not the best spot in the world. Not a giant ceiling here either. I mean, in terms of comparison to other tight ends, big ceiling, but nothing big in general. 9.5% chance to be in the optimal lineup. That gets Darren Waller into the 3 spot. In at number 2, tough matchup, Rob Gronkowski. He is 6K, projected for almost 14 fantasy points. The Bucs taking on the Buffalo Bills, 3.5-point favorites here, 53.5-point total. This is the number 1 offense at PFF against the number 4 defense. 9.8% chance to be in the optimal lineup. He's basically the same as Darren Waller. You're just getting there in different ways. The touchdown equity seems pretty high. I like getting a Gronk. And finally, the number 1 tight end this week, that would be $3,500 Gerald Everett, projected for 9 points. Seattle taking on the Houston Texans. They're terrible. 8.5-point favorites here, 40.5-point total. Middle of the pack offense against the 29th ranked defense. He's just the best combination of, I don't want to say upside and price, but the matchup and price is probably the right way to say it. 11.5% likelihood to be in the optimal lineup. He is my preferred paydown option at tight end for this Sunday. Sticking with Seahawks, we're on number 5 at wide receiver. That would be DK Metcalf, 6,500, projected for 17 fantasy points. And boy, does he get a good matchup against Houston. Good luck slowing him down. Again, 8.5-point favorites. They're going to be able to do whatever they want against this Texans team. 2% chance for Metcalf to go for more than 30. 16.5% chance that he's in the optimal lineup. 3-way tie for the number 3 spot. Also tied in this range is Stephon Diggs. Now you're paying up a bit more here, 8,100, but he's projected for 20 fantasy points. Very difficult matchup against Tampa Bay. Bills are 3.5-point dogs. It's a 53.5-point total. They're the number 9 offense going up against the number 7 defense. Tough spot. But he's got a 13% likelihood to go for more than 30 and a 17% chance to be in the optimal. Again, we got 3 guys here tied at 17%. Metcalf, Diggs, and Chris Godwin, same game, 7,100, projected for 18 fantasy points. Tampa on the opposite side, difficult matchup, but we're talking about the best offense in football. 53.5-point total, so you expect some scoring. 6% chance to go for more than 30, so there is a ceiling. 17% likelihood to be in the optimal. Obviously, more than okay with going to Chris Godwin and Diggs in a stack and bring back combination. Top 2 guys this week, though, you're looking to pay down. $3,400 Jalen Guyton is in at number 2, projected for 11 fantasy points. Chargers, dream matchup against the Giants, not a very good team. Now, you're not going here for a ceiling at all. You're going here for the value, the points per dollar. And that points per dollar rate for Guyton gets him into the optimal lineup 19% of the time. almost enough to be in the number one spot. And that number one spot goes to Josh Palmer. Same team, same situation, just 3K projected for 10.5 fantasy points. Another fantastic matchup and another fantastic value option. 28% of the time, Palmer ends up in the optimal. The amount of work that he's going to be able to get here against the Giants is very high. So whether you're going to Palmer or Guyton, your preferred paydown option is in Los Angeles. On to the running backs now, where at number 5, we're getting a bit of a discount on Saquon Barkley. 6K projected for 16. We just talked about how bad this matchup is or how good this matchup is for the Chargers, but it's not like it's awful for the Giants. Now, they are 10-point dogs. That's not great. They are the 29th ranked offense. That's not great. But number 13 ranked defense for the Chargers isn't too crazy. He's got a 1.5% chance to go for more than 30 and a 16% chance to be in the optimal lineup. That's solid, but it's more in the bottom of the pack of my top 10. We're going to take a step up in tier here to number 4, and then we really separate at 1 and 2. Another 6K running back is in at number 4. That's Antonio Gibson, projected for almost 17 fantasy points. Big time rivalry game here. The football team taking on the Dallas Cowboys. 4.5-point dogs, 48-point total. Coin flip matchup. Number 16 offense, number 18 defense. That's about as even as it's going to get. There is a little bit of a ceiling. Gibson goes for more than 33% of the time, but he's in the optimal lineup 20%. Love the combination of Gibson and Barkley. Those are two decent guys to have when you're only spending 12K total. Now this one really scares me, but he is number 3. Leonard Fournette, 7,400, projected for 20 fantasy points. Tampa taking on Buffalo. That's a very difficult defense. Number 4 at PFF, but there's a ceiling here. The touchdowns could be massive. 12% chance to go for more than 30. 22% likelihood to be in the optimal lineup. I like Leonard Fournette, and it feels like he's involved permanently for Tampa. That's what happens when you're on the number 1 offense and you get into a game with a 53.5-point total. Back to the Raiders now. $6,200 Josh Jacobs, another guy in this 6K range that you can very happily get to, projected for 18 fantasy points. Difficult matchup against the Chiefs. They are 10th in defense now, but you expect some scoring and you expect Josh Jacobs to be involved no matter where the game is going. 5% chance to go for more than 30. You don't want to sleep on that. 25% chance to be in the optimal lineup puts him firmly in the number 2 spot. And finally, at number 1, we're going to Austin Eckler. It's not close. 8,300, projected for 23.5. Should be involved the entire game, whether he's beating them, as a pass catcher early or on just running the ball or just running it down their throat late in the game when they're up by 10 points. This one looks fantastic for Eckler. He's going to have as much work as he wants. 29% chance to go for more than 30. 29% chance to be in the optimal lineup. So just in case you're seeing that, you're going to need 30 out of Austin Eckler to be likely to be in the optimal. You get that 30 points, you're more than happy. And there aren't many better situations than taking on the Giants. Now, before we close it out with the quarterbacks, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Go follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Let me know in the comments who your favorite plays are. And go check out Jock Market and use that promo code Awesemo. Get up to $50 on your first deposit. Closing out the quarterbacks where 2 through everybody else is not all that interesting, and then we get to number 1. 7,100 for Justin Herbert gets you into the 5 spot, projected for 22. We've been talking about the Chargers the entire time. Love them as a stack, but honestly, Justin Herbert's got a 5% chance to be in the optimal lineup. That's really good. That's the 5th highest mark on the slate, but it just feels random taking any individual quarterbacks this week. We're all about the stacks. Chargers are easy to get to. Or you can go to number 4, Lamar Jackson. Obviously, floor pretty high here. Big time running threat. Not that I'm telling anybody anything they don't already know, but very difficult matchup. 7,400, projected for 22.5 at Cleveland. They're dogs here, 42-point total. They're not a very good offense. Not that that matters for Jackson because he is the offense. Really difficult matchup, though. Number 2 defense at PFF. 6% chance to go for more than 30. That's probably what you're looking for at this salary if you want Lamar in the optimal lineup. No problem with it at all, but, there are better options. For example, you can go to $7,800 Josh Allen, projected for 25. Difficult matchup at Tampa, but 53.5-point total means there's a lot more scoring to go around. 16% chance he goes for more than 30. That extra scoring really helps. 10% chance to be in the optimal. Normally that looks really good, and that is enough for 3rd. And clearly, this game is highly stackable, but we do have 2 more better options. One of them, if he's playing, is Cam Newton, 5,400, projected for 19.5 for Carolina in an excellent matchup against Atlanta. There's not a lot of scoring expected here, but if we get into the red zone, Cam will be that threat. He's cheap. They don't have a very good offense, but this is the worst defense in football per PFF. And with anybody with his sort of rushing upside, particularly if they get into the red zone, which they should against Atlanta, 12% likelihood to be in the optimal. That looks pretty good. Although, we do have someone at number 1 that is not even close to everybody else. And that would be $5,600 Taysom Hill going up against the Jets. Saints are he's projected for 22 points. Saints are 5.5 point favorites, 43 point total. This isn't a very good offense, but Taysom Hill threw the ball a ton last week. He's clearly a running threat, and this Jets team isn't a threat to do much of anything. They are the 28th ranked defense. 4% chance to go for more than 30. That's not what you need. That salary makes it very easy for Taysom Hill to be in an optimal lineup. He is unquestionably your cash game quarterback. 31% of the time, Taysom Hill is in your optimal lineup. Don't sleep on him. Way too cheap. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. That's my NFL DFS top 5s on DraftKings for week 14. Now be sure to hit that like button one last time. I gotta ask for it because I don't know if I'm doing top 5s anymore. You guys might be getting this from somebody else in the near future. FanDuel version of this video is around here somewhere. Check it out. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy yourself. Watch the NFL First Look at 9 a.m. with myself and Adam Scher. Win some money, everybody. We'll talk to you later.